Hey guys, my name is Caitlin,
And I'm Tiana.
and we are the Dead Romantics podcast. So, on this podcast, we're going to be talking about how romance has essentially died in this generation, but how us lasting romantics have looked to books to survive through it.
And today the book that we're talking about is Haunting Adeline, the Cat and Mouse series. Um, Fair warning, spoilers and triggers will be mentioned. The first thing that we're going to talk about is Adeline and her character and how she's brought up in the book. She's the first point of view in the book. So another thing about Adeline is that she's relatable to most
Definitely.
socially awkward
Us.
people.
No, definitely.
Yeah, no, at her book signing where Zade saw her for the first time, she was like, I just want to leave. And then she saw Zade and she was like kind of peered over the shoulder of the person of the book she was signing. And she's like, that's my man. But
Well,
like, not really.
I mean, with those eyes, like the way they're described, the yin-yang eyes, like, who would not want that?
No, for real. Like, if I saw a 6'6" man a mile away,
I would have climbed him already. Anyway, like
yeah, that works.
that works. No, it's like imagine it just like comes into your like little book signing and that's just like standing there with like his eyes piercing at you.
Yeah.
Like side eye.
Side eye.
Side eye.
Well, another thing about Addie that is kind of lightly explained, I guess, in the beginning of the book is that she loves fear. And that starts off like she gets like turned on by fear. Like that's her whole thing, kind of.
Which I thought that was so interesting that the author decided to add that in. I mean, it definitely fits with the theme of this book, big time.
Definitely.
Definitely explains why she likes Parsons Manor so much.
Yeah.
No, but I thought that was so interesting to have that be like a huge turn on for her, right? Is the fear that she gets. I thought that was definitely interesting, which Zade definitely enjoys that as well.
And he plays into it though. Like he knows
1000%.
Like
that's how he gets away with so much in this book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, run, little mouse, catch you.
No, for real, the mirrors, and we'll get to that in a second.
I wasn't even talking about that scene.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the one where he chases her around the house.
Oh yeah, that was the first one.
That was a good scene.
Excellent, even.
One of the top 3 on that one.
Yeah, definitely. But when she like, I don't know, I feel like the way that the book is laid out is like we're first introduced to the notebooks that Gigi has left in the house.
Oh yeah.
Of like everything that happened like with her stalker and how Adeline's life parallels to Gigi's.
Oh yeah.
But Adeline doesn't get murdered type thing, you know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, and again, this goes with the spoiler warning, like, Gigi wasn't murdered by her stalker either, right?
No.
Although throughout the whole book, you're kind of thinking, like, history's going to repeat itself.
Exactly.
Which I admired that big time that the author did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because throughout the whole book, I'm like, how is this going to end? Like, is this going to be another murder?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, Zade loves her too much for that, you know? Like,
yeah.
He's a good man underneath everything.
Yeah.
You know, he has a soul in there.
Yeah, but his perspective of love is also super twisted. Like...
But isn't that the best type of love? Like, at least for this book. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he was willing, like, he would die for her.
Literally.
I mean, in, like, real life, 1, that doesn't exist, and 2, kind of toxic.
A little bit.
You know.
A little obsessive.
A little bit. Like, I want you to be obsessed with me, just not that obsessed with me.
Like, I don't want you to kill Archie and, like, you know, cut off his hand. That's so much. Like, I don't want to be involved in that type of...
Definitely takes a whole new meaning to touch her and see what happens.
Yes. Gotta love that trope.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awful to admit out loud. I'm so sorry. But honestly, if you're watching this podcast, you probably agree.
Yeah, let's be real. I'm talking about the super twisted stuff.
The Zade girlies know. Like, you're not all there if you're reading Zade and liking him.
Yeah. We have a twisted sense of
romance.
Everything. We're the traumatized girlies.
It's okay. The trauma more interesting.
Definitely. Gotta add a little spice.
Oh, definitely.
I think Zade adds a lot.
Zade is the whole spice rack. Like, he's the aisle of spice.
Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. What else can we talk about with Zade?
No, there's so much to talk about when it comes to Zade. We're trying to keep this like PG-13 because we could definitely go into context when it comes to Zade.
The water gun scene. That's what we'll call it.
Right, the water gun scene. That was definitely a scene to be written and to be read. Because honestly, like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I had a loss for words.
I had to close the book.
I reread that scene after because I was like, that did not just happen.
Yeah, for real. Like, I had to close it and be like, was that your imagination? And then I opened it again, reread it, and I was like, not my imagination.
No, and that was definitely another scene where I was questioning my morals again, my beliefs, because I'm like, what is that?
Would I like that?
And also, can this be a reality, or is that just for fiction? Like,
I mean, like, I don't know, just like the whole thing, because if I remember correctly, that's like the first time they kind of saw each other face to face.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh yes, no, you're right.
Yeah, the balls on that man. The first time.
Big in every way. No, like, they're huge. Like, man, they're just out here. Like, dude, okay, I will say, though, again, attractive. Most men now can't even come up to you. This man out here knocking on your door, being like, Ryan, I'll chase you, and I'm just gonna give you, like, the best, you know, time.
Shot his shot.
Literally and
with
figuratively. Of your life.
Yeah. A weapon of mass destruction.
And I'm not telling you ladies to get yourself a Zade. I'm just saying these are the expectations. These are the standards that we're holding men to.
Take Zade's character very lightly when put into reality.
Yeah, no. I mean, don't bring home a Zade.
No.
Well, not fully.
Yeah. But Zade's character is also a massive contradiction.
Oh, huge. He's a huge hypocrite.
Yeah, like, he goes out here and saves all these, like, little girls and boys, you know, from sex trafficking and all of that, and...
Yep. And then he goes stalking this, like, innocent author who's, like, a hermit and quiet, trying to just, like, live her life.
Yeah, trying to figure out who killed her grandmother, and he just inserts himself,
Stop.
literally.
You know what I love in the book when they have him say, like, how he read the diary while she was sleeping? Or he was like, yeah.
Just
like,
watching
so
her from the
nonchalant.
closet.
Stop, because I wrote, okay, full transparency. I read this book at, like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So it was, like, pitch black, and I would literally have to shut my closet doors before I would go to sleep. This man had me looking out my windows, being like, is there someone outside? Because...
I left the door unlocked for you. I left the door unlocked for you.
I have my fucking windows open. No one's there. Come inside. Like, it's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. Love to see it. Do you think Zade has a daddy kink? Like, is that, like, I feel like...
Sorry. Low-key. Okay. No, honestly, I don't think it's a daddy kink. I think he just has a god complex. Because I don't even think daddy would be, like, a strong enough word that he'd want to hear. Like, he's just like, call me a god. I am a god. Yeah. And if you pray to me, you know, your wishes will become answered. No, literally. You know what, I'm sure, honestly, when this book was released, the churches were probably packed. Let's be honest, we're all praying on that one.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I read that. The way that
I apologize, this is a new religion.
No, oh my god, yeah.
No, Zade was a new religion.
No, the way that I, like, hid my book, because, like, I don't want my parents, like, just, like, kind of...
Oh, no.
You know, flipping through the pages and finding...
I gotta be honest, my parents don't even look at the books, because I feel like at this point they're just like, we know. Although maybe they don't know that much on Zade.
No, Zade is just... We're gonna keep him under wraps. We're gonna gatekeep him, girl boss.
No, literally, we have to gatekeep this man, because once people find out, it's over. He cannot become mainstream.
No, like, I don't know, like, I was talking to my boyfriend about Zade, and he's like, so, let me get this straight. You are attracted to a man who will kill for you, And also,
we'll pretend to like try and murder you,
yeah,
basically.
for funsies.
You know, honestly, as long as it's for fun, why not?
Choke me until my face turns blue. Like, it's fine.
No, but like, I mean, I feel like that's kind of tame for him. Like considering everything else he does in the book, that's like a Monday. That's a Monday morning experience. Like, okay,
Yeah.
and then go to work.
Yeah, it's fine.
Stop, because
The belt.
oh, we have to talk about that scene. That
The belt.
the way another scene I had to reread. That's first off. Second off, I did shut the book on that one because I was like, that's more than the water gun scene. I was like, I'm not prepared for this. Like, what is happening? And also, Zade is creative. Just another thing men should be. You know, that's a creative move.
He is what's a good word? He's proficient.
He's spontaneous.
He's proficient in the art of sexual activity.
Oh, definitely. That man is like a black belt in it. Like, if you had a ranking, he's a god.
No, literally.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Zade
put
I don't even have the words for
Grayson and Archie to shame. Quite literally killed Archie.
As he should, though. Archie was a little handsy. Pun intended on that one.
Yeah, he handled that pretty quickly.
And efficiently. Yeah. Didn't leave it till the morning. Like, he was like, no, this is happening.
Okay, so I guess we could touch on this now.
Which one?
What? Some people think that this is rape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, and others. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was coming down.
No.
Some people think that Addie was raped, and other people see this as consensual, non-consensual.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I see this as consensual, non-consensual.
I also see it as consensual, non-consensual. And do you want to go into it first, or do you want me to?
Go ahead, take it away.
I was just going to say that I think that I also first would like to say that I think the author added the whole fear thing as being a turn on for this exact argument, right? Because it can be argued that he plays off of that, and she never really says, like, it's never really made that, like, she doesn't want it, right? Like, she, like, argues with it, and she does, but even in her thoughts as you're reading the book, she's present, she's there, and she's enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of fits the whole consensual, non-consensual. I can understand the undertones that it is a bit rapey, and again, that plays into the whole thing of Zade being a hypocrite, right? Like, because he saves women from sex trafficking, he saves women from being raped, and then he goes and does this to the woman that he supposedly loves himself.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. But, I don't know, like, I feel like in the book, this is okay. This is okay.
Oh, yeah.
But when applied to real life,
No,
that's not allowed.
No.
Let's make that very clear. Not
this
allowed.
Is fiction.
Exactly.
And because, again, like, it's fiction, not real, so there's certain rules I feel like personally can be applied to this, and it's okay, and it's wonderful, but then you take it outside the book and you put it in reality, and, like, no, that is not okay. Yeah. That is not something you want the person that supposedly says that they love you to do.
Exactly.
Run.
Exactly.
That's a roaring red flag.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's a very fine line.
Oh, definitely. Zade is a fine line, to be honest.
Because, like, some of the stuff you read, I don't know. I feel like the second book was harder for me to read than the first book.
Okay.
Because of the events that happened in the second book, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But the first book, it's hard. It's not hard to read, but it's hard to... What's a good way to put this? Like,
the first book was definitely... I found it interesting. Honestly, that's the word I would use. I found it interesting to read. Because throughout the whole book, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this man... I didn't even think of the word hypocrite until I was actually on H.D. Carlton's Instagram, and she was doing, like, questionnaires, and she said that, like, this whole book is a contradiction, right? His actions, like, what he does, his work, everything. His beliefs, his morals. So for me, I just thought the whole book was really interesting because even herself is a little bit of a contradiction because she's telling him no, she doesn't want it, but then she's fantasizing about him and thinking about him, and then they end up in the Hall of Mirrors, right? And then that's kind of when everything just kind of collides and like the build up and everything that they both are supposedly fighting, I feel, it just comes together and it's like, wow, that was a moment.
Yeah,
That was a very
that
great moment.
That was a moment, and that's when Sippy was introduced.
Yes, we cannot forget about Sippy.
Yeah,
Sippy's, I like her character, honestly.
Yeah, like Dea, to bring Zade's company into this.
Yes.
Dea works for Zade, right?
Mm.
And I find it funny that Zade says, "Oh, I'm the one that signs your paychecks."
Oh yeah, that was.
I was like, what a dominating move again.
No,
point for Zade.
Like Zade is just like dominating to begin with. Like that's who he is. It's like at his core. Everything I feel like has to be like in his control.
Yeah, he's intimidating and like a very dominant male.
Oh, definitely. Except I feel like when it comes to Adeline, like I feel like that's the only person in his life he'll allow to like call the shots a little bit.
Yeah, he bows to her like that.
Oh, yeah.
He makes that very clear. He's like, I will bow down to you.
Well, to him, that's his goddess, right? That's what he says in the book. That's how he explains about her. He talks about her like that. Which honestly, okay, point Zade. See, that's how we should be talked about as women.
No, I agree, because I don't know, I feel like the lines were blurred some point in history where did the gentlemen go?
No,
where did they
no
go?
Such thing in this generation.
No, you get the you up or like
stop, not the you up text because I swear to God.
What other cliches are there nowadays?
Can you imagine Zade sending a you up text?
Like, that would give me the ick.
Like man comes up with like I'm outside your window. Like period. That's creative. Okay. Like he's taking the initiative. He's there. The you up text is like what? You want me to come over?
No, just like climb through my window. Not actually, but like yeah. You get it.
A little too much.
IRL boys do not climb through my window. Zade, climb through my window.
Call me. Like, don't even text me with like the whole like unknown number. Like, no, just call me.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll give you my number. I just nail it to a tree somewhere in the woods. I'm sure you'll find it.
No, nail it to like your front door, like Zade only.
Period. I don't know. Zade is just that guy.
No,
he's
Zade
that guy.
Just, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
He was made for the female gaze.
Oh, definitely. Zade is definitely that character made for like females. Like
the traumatized ones. The traumatized females.
You're exposing us a little too much on the podcast already.
Episode 1.
Just get into it.
Trauma dump.
Yeah. We don't have enough time for that.
Definitely.
I don't even think we'd be able to get through half. But
maybe like
little bit.
Year 1.
No, more like month 1 of like what went wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you wanna go into hunting now, or do you wanna?
No, we can definitely go into hunting.
Okay,
hunting is definitely, I think, where most of the trigger warnings are for me, because the first book 1 ends where Rio and I forgot the other guy's name was ramming into the back of Addie's car because the other company. Do you remember the name of it? I can't.
The Society.
Oh yeah, hello. The Society kind of kidnapped Dea. Kind of. Or yeah, something like that. And then Dea texted Addie. So Addie obviously rushed out of her house to save her bestie.
Yep.
That's where Rio and the Teddy, I think.
Showing good deeds never go unpunished.
Exactly.
Cynical on that one.
Yeah. We'll talk about Rio. Rio is a whole thing in himself.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I have some thoughts about that one. I got some thoughts about that one.
So book 2 starts with Addie waking up in that hospital.
Yes, with the fucked up doctor.
Yeah,
excuse my language.
That guy was fucked.
No, that guy was just ugh.
I have
the beginning of the icks.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I don't know, like, in my head, I imagine the way that he talks is very...
Wait, who? Rio or the doctor?
The doctor.
Oh, wasn't he Dr. Garrison?
Yeah.
Right? That was the name.
Dr. G, yeah. The way that I imagined him talking was, like, someone with very obvious psychopathy,
psychopathic tendencies.
yeah,
Not in the hot way.
No, not in the hot way. Yeah, no, but I feel like, you know how they constantly like put her to sleep?
Yeah. That was low-key a red flag within itself.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about that scene was a red flag, but just the little
Yeah.
things, the details.
Yeah, like the mental image of where Addie was
That was...
made me feel disgusting.
Oh no, it was like scarring. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, oof. And like to know that like this is probably something that really is like real, right? Like that part really wasn't fiction all the way. Like this does happen. I feel like that made reading it even worse, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like you're reading fiction, but in your mind you know it's not fake all the way.
Yeah, didn't H.D. Carlton say that she interviewed sex trafficking survivors?
She did. She did.
Yeah, so I can't imagine like if I was an author and I was interviewing someone that was like survived sex trafficking, I can't imagine just sitting there and like casually writing notes on this.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely, I can only imagine the mental strain that took on the author.
Yeah, and the victims
and the victims, yeah,
talked to. But I feel like back to Addie, like she knew the entire time that Zade was gonna come find her.
Yeah,
she knew.
She held on. I feel like that's what made her live, right? Like she held on to that.
Yeah, she was like fighting for Zade, I guess.
Yeah, gave her something to live for.
Yeah,
because she knew he was never gonna stop hunting her.
Yeah,
hence the name. But
yeah, literally. Yeah, but that whole hospital scene was super
just awful.
Just you can.
You know what really messed me up with that whole like portion of the book, like that whole hospital portion, was when, big spoiler warning, but when Rio shot him and it was on top of her. Because I felt like that was the moment in the book that really showed like this is gonna be a really messed up ride for her. Because like everything else was bad, yes, but that specific scene I really felt like started like lit the match, so to say, of like what she was gonna endure. Yeah. Because that in itself is just awful. Like that's to have that mental image.
Yeah. Sorry for a graphic and mental image again, but didn't she have to shower off brain chunks?
Yeah, that was like when and she had to shower like in his apartment. Like that was just all. Because like I'm thinking about it, like not even just like her physically being there, but like the mental portion of it, like her having to like live with these memories after. Because like we all know Zay was gonna save her, we all know, but like even though you saved her, it's not the same person because now she has like that experience on top of it, right? And on top of everything else she experiences throughout this whole book.
Yeah, no, but we'll get back to the doctor in a little bit because I think you know what scene I'm talking about. But Rio drove her to the house.
Yes.
Okay, so Rio drove her to the house where she met. What's her name? I know it's Rocco's sister.
Yes. Oh my God, what's her name?
Let's Google it. Oh my God. Dude. Because I remember Sydney.
No, Sydney? Yeah. I'm so sorry. And I understand because I feel like obviously that's someone that you kind of have to pity, right? She was in the house a really long time. She had her own mental issues. She had her own traumas, her own experiences. But I'm sorry. She was a bitch. Like, let's just be honest about it. Like, there was no reason. Because it's like those girls were also there a really long time, and none of them were pulling the stuff that this girl was pulling. And it was just like that was really hard to read as well, because I feel like that was another moment that you kind of have to question your morals and your beliefs, because it's like you want to feel bad for her and you want to have pity for her and compassion, but then she's doing all these things to the main character that like you already know right, from the other books and everything, and you already have a connection with. Yeah. And you're like, why are you doing this to her? Like, you know? Yeah. So I felt like that was really rough.
I don't know. I can't remember her name. We'll put it somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll put it somewhere. Her name is going to be somewhere. We're both having like a massive brain fart right now. But what are we going to call her? House lady?
Yeah, the lady of the house.
Rocco's sister. She's the... She...
I can't remember her name.
Oh my God.
Like, it's driving me nuts too. I can't remember the name. I love how we remember Rocco's name, but not hers.
Well, because Rocco... Okay, Bethany. I believe that was the girl with the mole.
Oh, yeah, that was sad.
So, at the house, that was, like, one of the first things Addie saw when she left her room, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, the first day, I
That
believe.
was awful. That whole scene was just
Yeah.
awful.
They were, like, making sure that the girls were keeping up with hygienic.
Yeah, that they were pretty, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
sellable.
Exactly. That's awful to say,
No,
but it's
it
true.
is. It's disgusting.
And Bethany had a mole, and the mole had hair on it. And what is, like, a good way to put it? Like, I guess the house lady, that bitch, Biash, excuse me, she saw it, and she's like, how many times do I have to tell you, Bethany? Get rid of the hair on the mole. And, she kind of told Rocco to carve it out of her face, which is super
disgusting.
I have a long string of curse words that I'm not gonna say about that.
Oh, I have a long list of words for Rocco.
Yeah, obviously a drug addict, obviously not a good person.
No, that man is literally, I would say he's Satan, but I feel like that's like an insult to actual Satan.
Yeah, no, he's just a very bad guy. Very bad guy. So
It was disgusting.
Addie decides to stand up for Bethany. And Addie gets raped. Yeah.
Good deed does not go unpunished.
That scene, I have to say, that was the scene that made me have to put the book down. Like, I couldn't read it for a few days because obviously there's like steps to having consensual sex that don't make it painful. What Rocco did, I can't. First of all, the emotional pain.
Yeah.
Then you have to go to the physical pain. That, and first of all, what is Rocco doing with a hard-on in that kind of situation when he's carving a mole out of someone's face?
Well, I think that just goes to show how sick he really is, right? Like, mentally.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
That whole scene was just awful. I will agree. I think I did have to put the book down after that one as well for a little bit, because I was like, because I was fine reading it. Like, I knew what was going to happen. I had seen things on TikTok, and I was like, honestly, like, just read through it. You just have to keep telling yourself it is fiction for this portion of the book, right? Yeah.
But reading that and knowing she interviewed these sex trafficking survivors.
That's what messed me up. Exactly. I was like, is that real? Like, is that someone's real story? Like, I kept asking myself that throughout the first half of the book, right? Because the first half is all of that, and it kind of like made it worse reading it, right? Like, more sad, more what's the word I'm looking for? Just more like in your face, right? Because it's like you don't know if you're reading actual fiction or if it's nonfiction. If this is someone's real story that she took and then made it into the book, right? To like take out names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That made it harder to read.
Exactly. And then what was the thing with the bow and arrows?
Oh my god, the culling.
The culling.
That was, I did not, I was like reading that, I was like, this is not real. They're just saying that to scare the girls. Like, that's not a real thing. And I also was not expecting real freaking bow and arrows. Like, I thought that was a whole...
They were crossbows, no?
Yeah, no, they were like...
So it's not like this, it's like...
No,
like
it's
this.
like one of those things, yeah. I thought that was not gonna happen. And then I started reading the scene, I was like, what is this? Like, what am I reading right now?
Yeah.
Stop, because I felt like that wasn't even the worst part. For me, the worst part of that whole experience was after what happened to those girls that they did catch.
Yes.
That's one. And then two, spoiler alert again, when Adeline had to kill, what was her name? No, she was the redheaded one.
Yeah, with the beautiful, like, long curly red hair.
And I can't remember her name, and that's really making me upset.
We'll put the name. We'll
find the name. What's it called? But her death, actually, that one struck hard. I will say, like, after I did cry on that scene.
Yeah,
that was
I cried too.
I liked her character, and I thought, like, it would have been, like, more developed, right? Like, a friend for Adeline in the house, so she wasn't always so alone. And a friend for that girl as well, right? Because, like, a lot of them didn't make friends, a lot of them didn't speak to one another. Definitely not the environment to do so, I guess.
Yeah, because the girls who didn't get caught in the culling were basically, like, after, obviously, they were tending I don't know a good word to say for that. They were tending to the guys and they had to put those tight corsets on.
Oh yes,
because
yes. They were weren't they serving them, right? Like they were just like
yes. They were serving them, hand and foot, disgusting. But after all that, you see the girls that were caught come out.
Yeah.
Brutally tortured. I'm not gonna go into it, but if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about.
There was one word, and I'm sorry if this is triggering, but there was one word that like struck as I was reading that scene. Dismembered, right?
Yeah.
They mentioned that.
Yep.
That was horrifying for me to read because I was like, what the actual F is like happening in this book? Because the book had been graphic before, but I felt like that scene was just really painted a mental image on that one.
Yeah, and when Adeline had to kill the girl with the pretty red hair.
Yeah. No, that crushed me a little bit on that.
Addie literally said somebody's daughter died today.
Yep.
And like, listen, I don't have kids. The closest thing I have to a kid is a dog. Okay. But just like thinking that your daughter died in that brutal way after God knows how long she was gone for, that's sickening. I can't even.
No, even talking about it now makes my stomach churn.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, what?
I mean,
it was awful. Like that whole scene.
Yeah, I mean, like, good for H.D. Carlton for writing such a graphic scene that pretty much everyone had the same mental image, and all of us.
And honestly, it's good as awareness, right? Like, like, these are things, again, you don't know if it's fiction, if she took it from her own, like, thoughts, or if she took it from a survivor's point of view, but it's just awareness that, like, you just need to be, right, like, more cautious, more careful when you're out there, because these are things that are happening that, like, we don't even think about, right? Whether we're sheltered or it's just not a thought that crosses our mind.
Yeah. I don't know, like, that whole culling event made me sick to my stomach.
No, I wanted to vomit on that. I actually felt extremely freaking sick after reading that. I'm not even joking. That was disgusting.
And if I remember correctly, at this time, the time of the culling, when you read Zade's point of view, Zade just found the doctor's apartment.
Oh, yes. I was getting so, like, on the edge of my seat. I don't even think I put the book down. Like, once they started, like, him, like, finding those trails, I was like, no, because he needs to find her now. Like, all of that just happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the point of the book that I'm like, no, she needs to get rescued, like, now. Like, I felt like I was more antsy than Adeline. I was like, where are you?
But what he did to the doctor, do you remember?
No, but the doctor was dead already. Oh, right, that he flung him out the window and then burned his corpse.
And then... Yeah.
Set him on fire. Yeah. I don't know how to say that gently.
Very Zade thing to do. Good for him.
No, literally. Pop off.
But, what a healthy way to release some anger.
He had a lot of anger, which honestly fueled the mission.
Like, if that happened to my girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, significant other... Not saying that I would do the same thing because that's a little rough, but I would be very angry.
Oh,
I would be very angry.
Definitely. Can we just talk about something real quick that I feel like we went over a little bit?
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you know what's something that, like, crushed my soul while reading this book was?
I think I know what you're going to say.
When you flip to, like, the page, right, and it's, like, Adeline's point of view, and it says 2 months later.
Yeah.
The beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about anyone else, and honestly, if you can leave comments on this, leave a comment. Did anyone else think he was going to find her a lot faster than what he did?
Yes, I did. I thought it was going to be like a week.
Yep, I did not expect. When they said 2 months later, I'm not even kidding you. I put the book down and I, like, properly cried.
Properly is a very polite way to put it. I, like, ugly cried.
I violently sobbed.
Yeah.
Because I was like... all the resources, like, you talk about being Z, you talk about this big organization, talk about taking down all these bad people, and then when it comes to, like, that, 2 months later.
Yeah.
Even now, I still feel an ache in my chest.
I'm trying, like, I'm currently sucking back tears because I can't.
No, that was
rough.
That was awful.
No, but another thing, you know how, like, in the beginning, that's what made me think that he was gonna find her a lot faster. Like, he was saying, like, oh, she's been there for 5 days, 7 days already, 9 days.
Yeah.
And, then you read 2 months later, and then you,
No,
like, it hits you how long she has suffered and been there
No,
for.
definitely, because, like, I feel, like, I think that came after, like, the initial rape scene and, like, all of that ugliness, right? So then it's, like, 2 months of that.
Yeah.
And now you're, like, as you're reading, you're like, what did she go through for those 2 months? Like, the time skips, and it's like, geez.
Yeah, well, in those 2 months, I believe, not the entirety of the 2 months, but I believe it was, for a majority, she was with Xavier. Xavier was gonna buy her. So the house lady, insert name here, was letting her go see him weekly.
Yeah.
Like, it was a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And I believe this is this part where she drew on the smile with the red lipstick.
Oh, that scene broke my heart. That was such an...
Because I feel like in the beginning of the first part of the book, Addie was fighting. Like, she was fighting. She was like, no, no, no. And then that scene, you see her crack.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely the scene that I think she wanted to give up. That it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah, she's like, I don't think she ever truly lost faith that Zade was going to find her.
No.
But I feel like she lost faith in herself, and she fully thought that by the time Zade was going to find her,
it wasn't going to be her that he found.
Exactly.
Yeah, going back to the whole thing that it's like, you're hunting for her, but, like, what are you hunting for, right? Because she's going through all of these awful experiences. It's definitely not going to be the same person that you're looking for, if that's making sense how I'm wording that. Yeah,
she definitely lost that part of herself of, like...
Oh, definitely. Her whole character changed. In the second book.
Dramatically.
Huge, yeah, exactly. Especially in the second part when she's safe and all of that, you definitely see just, like, a dramatic, like you said, change in her character from all these experiences. And then I feel like even you as a reader, as you're reading, it's kind of like, it's so different than the first book, I felt personally, that it was even, like, a little hard to read, because it's like, what happened to that character that I built a connection with? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you feel awful and pity, and just, you're like, damn, I want Adeline back. Like, I feel awful that this happened.
Like, I feel Addie was obviously very withdrawn.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
like, all the...
With reason, right?
All the plot with, oh my god, Darcy.
No, don't mind this dog if you guys hear her.
Darcy, yeah, she's a Australian Shepherd.
Enough said. Is just very dramatic and upset right now.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Maybe she'll make an appearance one of these days.
Oh, definitely. She would love her moment to shine. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, she's an attention stealer.
Yeah. But back to depressing little, hunting Adeline. The first part of Haunting Adeline, she's going through all that with the sex trafficking and everything we just mentioned. But the second part, the way that Zade found her, I was crying tears of joy.
Oh, definitely. I was freaking... I felt like I should start praying. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, he, like, went down on his knees and, like, he held her.
He just, like, hugged her on his knees, which is, like...
Literally.
Like, him, a very dominant male, submitting to the woman he loves. Like, right? That's the power of it. Yes. I don't know. It was beautiful. Stunning.
No, that was a really beautifully written scene, I have to say. And it was just so, like, visual. Like, I saw it in my head fully. Like, there was no, like, oh, like, you know, like how people, like, when you're reading a book, you're adding things, like, yourself. Like, no, that was the scene that I was seeing.
Yeah, like, you could imagine a dark, abandoned cargo part of the train, and then you see him, like, jumping down and, like...
6'6" big man.
Submitting to the woman that he loves.
Yep.
That's it.
Can we talk about another scene real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sorry, but, like, a little random, but, like, I thought about it. Can we just talk about how this man, right, like you said, big, strong, dominant man, right, has all this pain during the second book. All this pain.
Yeah.
And then he decides to carve a rose, a literal rose, into his chest, okay? Yeah. Just, like, never forget the pain and the agony that he's in because of the woman that he loves. Not that I'm saying that's a standard. ... I'm just saying it should be a plot.
Just get a tattoo.
Honestly, like, a tattoo, after reading that, I'm like, a tattoo is weak. Like, don't get my name. Like, Get a week.
Yeah.
Having a needle over your chest, like anyone
Nice.
can do it.
Yeah.
It takes a special type of man.
In fiction books.
Yeah, in fiction books. To punch, right? He punched a mirror, grab a piece of that glass, and then literally engrave a rose into his chest.
Over his heart.
Anyway, just thought I'd bring that up because I felt like that was something that needed to be discussed and talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe I just right over that.
That was a moment. Okay, that was honestly that moment in the book low-key made me fall in love with Zade all over again. I will say.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like Zade, he's just a traumatized man. Like he's dark and like you know.
He's an emo boy. Yeah. He's a sad boy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just makes him all the better, right? It's just
all the girls' mommy issues rise. All the girls with daddy issues also rise.
No.
We just got an army.
No.
Parental issues with Zade.
You guys better be commenting on this version at least. It's a lot to say. No, to go from there. No, but like that scene was so good, and then it kind of mirrors, right? Like when she does the same thing, like she wants her own mark to like prove like her love for him and all that. That was so good.
We're gonna skip ahead a little bit to when Addie tells Zade to carve a heart on her chest.
Yes, a rose.
Yeah, because they were doing the deed. They were doing the nasty.
Yes, stop like in the middle of it. I was like,
and
Adeline, you know how to pick the timing.
Literally. Yeah,
that
but
was so good.
No, it was fire.
Like that whole H.D. Carlton.
Yeah.
You're a god yourself writing these books. Honestly.
She's iconic. If I ever meet her, I think I'd start crying.
Oh, I would cry.
Yeah,
I would be like, no, honestly, I just want to know, like, who was your inspiration for Zade? Like, who inspired that?
Yes.
Looks-wise and personality-wise.
Can we get an Instagram handle?
No.
Can we get an Instagram handle?
Please. Last nicely.
If it was just her imagination,
Chef's kiss to that one. Like, God blessed you on that.
No, for real.
It's kind of like when you make up those scenarios before bed. I'm not thinking of Zade.
Girl, I don't think I'm creative enough to think about Zade. He's just like, wow.
He's like any average guy.
Oh my god, no, he's
angelic
Zade.
looking, like
angelic. He's demonic looking.
Oh, in my head, he has like the face of like an angel, like you know, like his face is angelic, but like that's like what kind of makes him like a controversy, right? Like his body's all full of scars and dark and he's mysterious.
Yeah, no, he's just a very good looking man that's very dark and if that isn't a sin itself.
Oh, that's not where I thought we were going with that.
Oh,
like that's my type.
No, me too.
You know, like it's okay. He's like, oh, that's fine. Anyway,
I like blush when I think about him. Like you see it, like
like getting red.
Yeah, like the blush on my makeup faded. This is straight natural, natural flush. Okay.
No, he's blush worthy though. Like,
oh my god,
just reading those scenes, full body goosebumps.
No,
full body goosebumps.
Yeah.
Need a minute.
I was thinking about it.
Think about it.
Like fan the boy. Fan the boy. Yeah, but I don't know. Back to depressing shit.
Yeah,
no. We had a little too much excitement thinking about that.
No, just thinking about it was exciting.
No.
No, like going back to those scenes, like okay, I think a huge scene that needs to be talked about and that had my jaw on the floor, okay? Like my jaw hit the floor, never came back up after doing this, when she has the gun in her hand, the water gun in her hand.
Water gun.
And he comes into the room and like she puts the barrel to his head.
No, she didn't put it. He walked up to the barrel.
Oh, right. No, she pointed it at him. That was the thing.
She pointed it and he kind of like
he walked up to it, brought his head to the barrel.
Yeah.
For her. Yeah. And basically it was like, pull the trigger. Like, pull the freaking trigger.
Yeah.
That wrecked me inside. Okay, that wrecked my soul inside. There was no coming back from that.
Okay. So both books are him chasing her.
Yeah.
She said, I love you during the deed, and he was like, "Don't say that, little mouse." Oh, little mouse. Sorry.
Oh,
He's
so
like,
good.
"Don't." Literally red. Anyway, he's like, "Don't say that, little mouse. If you don't mean it. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Blah blah blah." She says it, and she's like, "I mean it. Like, carve the rose in my chest."
Carve the rose.
Yeah, and then she pulls this crap. She.
Oh yeah. Okay. No hate to Adeline.
We get it. She's traumatized.
But I was a little angry with her towards the end of the book. Like when she took it back,
Yeah.
that had me on my knees, sobbing, violently, ugly. I was like, what is happening right now?
No.
And then it was her chasing him, which that chef's kiss to that idea.
That
honestly.
was amazing.
That was really good.
Hold on, let me pull up the quote.
Oh, I have a quote too from when the water gun scene. That like what he tells her with the trigger. I have a quote with that.
Yeah, I think
it's the same.
I think it's the same quote.
Okay, try for her.
But he, first of all, I understand why Addie took it back, because she's having a hard time adjusting naturally. I don't blame her for anything. I really don't.
But didn't she say she took it back because she wanted to punish him?
Yes.
Wasn't that the context?
I believe so.
So I kind of like obviously I feel awful for Adeline, right? I have a lot of sympathy for her. She is traumatized, but I felt like that was kind of cruel, because it's like he's done nothing
but help.
But like in this book, like putting aside the first book, right? And all of the controversy that follows that with the CNC rape, all of that, what you believe is Zade. When going into the second book, he was there, right? Like he was patient with it. He took his time. He wanted her to feel safe. He wanted her to feel like everything was her choice, her decision.
Yeah.
And then for her to want to punish him, which I felt like in that scene was really not I don't want to say not for a good reason, because I felt like if that's how she was feeling, it was obviously for a reason that meant something to her. But I just felt like that was cruel. That was something really cruel that she did. And she obviously saw it, right? Because like she chased him after and was like, I messed up big time.
Yeah. Like to me, it's like this man doesn't ask for much.
No.
He does everything for her. His life is her.
No, yeah. He revolves around her.
Yeah. And all this man wants is to be loved by her. Yep. He got it and she took it away.
Yep.
I think he knew that she didn't fully mean it.
But I think she did. Like I think she's in love with him. Genuinely. I think she did fall in love with him. I think she loves him fully. I think when she took it away, I don't think it's because she didn't love him. I think it's just because she wanted him in as much pain as her.
Yes.
Because like the saying goes, hurt people, right? Yeah. She wanted to hurt him. She wanted him to feel pain because she was in so much pain herself.
Yeah.
I just felt using that as your chip, so to speak, your ace, was cruel. Because that was something that he did want, that he fought for in his own way, right? Doing all these things, showing her the darkest parts of himself, all these things. And then you go and take that away. When you don't even mean it, right?
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think that she never meant it in general. That's not what I meant. I think just, like, in that moment, she knew herself she didn't mean it. She, like you said, she just wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
But all this man does, like I said before, I understand she's traumatized, she's hurting. Life is hard for her. She's having a hard time adjusting to regular life, okay? Why are you hurting the one person that's trying to help you?
Yes, that was my thoughts exactly while I was reading that.
Like, I get it. Well, I don't fully understand, but I can
try and understand.
I can empathize with it.
Yeah.
But not like this man has been there helping you. He trained her to make her stronger.
Yep.
He's helping her kill the people that, you know, hurt her. He's helping her like readjust, like, because once you're sexually assaulted, it's hard to go back to having a regular sex life, to say, like, to keep it PG. Keep it real, okay? Yeah. Not PG, but like as in plain English, okay? Yes. He is helping her adjust and take back what was taken from her.
Take back her power, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what she felt. She felt powerless. She felt not in control, not herself. That was another thing. He helps her take back her control.
Yeah.
Right? Not even in sex, just her life in general.
Yeah.
Right? Taking back who she is, who she felt she lost.
And like the one person in her life that can help her with that is Zade, because he opened all those apartment dorm like things for people who survived and have nowhere to go.
Oh, that was such a good scene too.
Yeah.
When he took her there.
Yeah, like it was like his little
sanctuary.
Yeah, it was literally, it was his sanctuary for the people who had nowhere to go, no family, no nothing. He took her there. He is literally like,
and it kind of showed her. I'm sorry to cut
okay.
you off, but it kind of showed her what her life could have been like, right? If he wasn't with her.
Yeah.
Right, because those people didn't have anyone. That's why they're there, right? They don't want to really go back to society, right? Because they don't have, I guess, the resources, right? Like, he's giving them resources by being there. So it's like, she wouldn't have had him. It kind of gave her a glimpse of, like, what could have been. Like, she kind of readjusted into her normal life, right? Like, she was back at Parsons Manor. She was thinking about writing again. She had Dea. She had her parents. She had him, who, although maybe she didn't want to begin with, but like he was there, and at the end she did want him there, right?
Yeah.
He was important.
Yeah.
And she had people, she had a system, she had a support system. Even her mom, who she doesn't have the greatest relationship with, she ends up building a relationship with from this experience.
Yeah.
Because she was there.
Yeah.
Right? And I felt like that scene was super important because, like I said before, it just showed her what life could have been like.
Yeah. And out of her entire support system, he was the most educated on what happened to her and how to fix it.
And what to do, how to handle the situation.
Yeah. And she pushed him away. Out of everyone, him.
Yeah.
That was
But I also think she did that was because I think she saw him as the most important one, right? Because he was the most informational. He was the most I want to say careful with how, because he wasn't careful with how he treated her, because he did go back to saying, like, right, like, he always would whisper, like, the dirty comment or, like, the things. But he was, I felt like, the more delicate when it came to the situation. Like, for example, like, Sibby was, like, kicking her butt, like, training. Like, she was not, and she had no sympathy. She's like, girl, if we're gonna train, we're gonna train.
Yeah, for real.
Like, Zade was more compassionate, a little bit more delicate, a little bit more, you know, trying to be kinder with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she chose him to push away, because it was the one that was helping her the most, right? And she was almost like, get away from me.
Yeah. You kind of like push away the help.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you said it beautifully, actually.
Yeah.
But can we talk about Sibby for a second? Stray away from Adeline.
Her henchman. Oh.
Well, we could talk about Sibby and Sydney.
Okay. Oh, right, because they're part of
They came from the same cult.
Yes. That was crazy.
Sydney died. Yes. Adeline killed her. Yes. Okay, so...
Wasn't that her sister?
Yeah, because Sibby says, like...
The cult leader had all the same kids with the different women.
Yeah. So they were half-siblings. And same with the entirety of the cult. But it's not that I knew when I was reading... But I was like,
this seems familiar.
Yes, Sydney seems like Sibby, but in a more
messed up.
Not saying that Sibby isn't messed up, but like in a
different messed up.
They had like kind of the same ish vibes.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and in the second book, I find it, I guess, funny that Sibby escaped. Zade was like, "Oh, you could just stay with us in Parsons Manor."
Yeah, like, it's fine.
Well, actually, he was like, he asked Adeline. He was like, "Would you mind?" And she was like, "No, it's fine."
And then they end up becoming low-key like besties.
Yeah, and I find it funny that Zade is constantly like, Sibby and her orgy in the kitchen.
Stop, or like, Sibby, we're not having sex with you.
Yes. And then she's like, how come you guys are allowed to have loud sex, but I can't?
Yeah, and it's like, cause like you're not doing it with anyone, sweetie.
Yeah. Sibby and her henchmen.
Okay, those henchmen seem like they know how to put it down, though.
No, low-key, like, Sibby's low-key down bad.
Sibby has, like, the best teeth, I guess.
Oh my god, for real. Like, I imagine her henchmen, I forgot what game it's from.
I imagine them as minions.
Despicable Me. No, but I think it might be Mario, actually. They had, like, the little red hoods and, like, the masks. And they're, like, super tiny.
Oh, wait, I know what you're talking about. Wait. No, because I just picture them. I don't know why. Like Despicable Me minions, like the purple ones, like the evil ones.
Stop.
That's what I picture. Every time she says henchmen, that's like the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Cause I'm like, are they humans to be, or like what do you mean when you say like henchmen? You know?
And she, the shy guys, these guys,
Oh my
these
God.
these guys. That's how I imagine her henchmen. They just lay in pipe casually.
The biggest pipe around. Like,
no, that's Zade. Don't get it twisted.
girl,
Don't get it twisted.
just matches the body.
No. Third leg, tripod, like.
Oh my God, but like low key. No, not low key. High key. Like third leg.
Very obvious. Like, imagine just like Zade walking around like shirtless in Zade sweatpants and gray sweatpants.
Okay, here's my thing. That's how you kill someone. Because watching that man walk around in gray sweatpants
with no top on, just abs out and about, tattoos, scars, the whole shebang.
Tiana, what are you trying to make me do? I'm blushing on camera here. Like I'm getting full goosebumps right now on my arms, like straight up.
For anyone that knows how to draw, and you're watching this,
oh please send us a picture.
Post it on TikTok. Post it on the gram, Pinterest.
Email it to us.
No, literally.
Like, please.
We'll frame it and hang it somewhere.
We'll put it on the account.
No, new profile pic. You know? Like, we need it for all my artistically. Yes,
with Nike the arm flexing. Please.
Like opening a fridge. Like, and he has like something like opening fridge. You know, side profile, sharp jawline, the whole thing.
Yes.
And having like orange juice or something in his hand.
No, whiskey.
Like,
wait, what is it that whiskey, right? He always drinks. Oh my God.
But I don't think he put whiskey in the fridge.
No, but like maybe not. He's at a counter, like like pouring himself some whiskey,
leaning on the counter.
Abs
you do what you will with that information,
yes.
But I'm begging
maybe
you.
add a rose in there somewhere.
A vase in the background.
Stop. Okay, can we just talk about real quick? This is a side note, and this is also from Haunting Adeline, but how he cut the thorns off the roses. New standard set for males. Okay.
Yeah. That was sweet.
That was so, like, that has me giddy. Like, I'm like a little schoolgirl for that. I'm like,
he's like protecting my fingers.
Oh. As he's like water gunning her, it's fine.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Is there anything that we missed?
Did we say the quote?
No, we did not.
No. Should we say the quote now?
You can.
You guys want to hear the quote?
Yeah, the quote that we mentioned in just.
Like,
ADHD away.
It's okay. Honestly, you guys you'll learn to love us in this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the quote from the gun that we both were like obsessed with. We even picked it without even like knowing. We had the same quote.
Oh, you guys will also learn that we're basically the same person in different fonts.
Like
we have the same handwriting. Literally everything's the same.
Literally, it's kind of scary. Like, I feel like they don't understand the context. But like you'll learn. You'll learn. Okay, so the quote is, "What you've forgotten is that the heart beating inside your chest isn't effing yours, it's mine," he snarls. "It's mine, and if my heart has stopped working, then pull the trigger, little mouse. Kill the rest of me. I'm nothing if not the reason you breathe." In the words of Zade Meadows. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That just...
Deep breath.
Feeds the soul. Like...
Yeah. No, that's not even a joke. Oh my God. Yeah.
No, that's everything to me.
I don't know. Like, I guess you could call it a trope. Like, the trope of a dominant man submitting to the woman that he loves.
Okay, period, though.
That's the one. That's the one. And I feel...
No, I would say, yeah.
That's... like, listen. Power to women. Okay, none of us are 1950s housewives anymore.
Oh, no.
Listen, stay at home, girlies. Pop off, you too.
Oh, period.
We're no longer 1950s housewives.
Mm.
We can go out and have a job. We
can be CEOs.
Yeah, we have the power to do everything. F all these gender stereotypes, I guess. Yeah. But the idea of the man you love submitting to you. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like most of us...
No, you're on the right track.
Most of us respect that and appreciate that.
Oh,
because
1,000%. Who doesn't want someone No, I don't want to say vow to because that just seems extreme. But like, who doesn't want someone to? I guess like he's devoted to her
Yeah.
like fully, and I feel like those little acts just show it. Who doesn't want someone's full devotion
Exactly.
when you're in love with them?
Yeah.
Right, or you care for them,
Or
and
even just respect.
yeah,
I feel like that's a huge thing that's missing nowadays.
Oh, definitely. I feel like a lot of men in relationships, and I'll even say women too. There's like a loss of respect when you're in a relationship with each other. And I feel like that's huge. And again, I think that's why us book girlies tend to go for books, right? Because usually the main characters, they're like the perfect ideal of what we want, right? Like what's lacking in society.
Yeah.
And respect would be a huge one.
Yeah.
And I feel like even under Zade's craziness, he still holds a huge respect for Adeline.
Exactly. Even after, like, his views of her didn't change after she came back from the whole sex trafficking thing, and I can understand how that would be difficult for someone. Sorry, the noise.
So what is going on right now? This is a whole mess. I apologize for the weird noises that you might hear.
It's just the ghost of Gigi. It's fine.
You're the ugly look on camera.
That's fine.
Gigi,
hi.
where are you, sweetie? Like, you want to talk?
Yeah. What's your perspective on Zade and Adeline's relationship?
Anyway. Okay. Any last thoughts? Because we have an hour. So.
Wait. How did Zade propose to Adeline?
Oh, she wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Listen, personally, up the booty hole is not for me. It's not for me.
No.
But
that was one hell of a way for proposing to someone.
Yeah. He still did it, and I think that's very Zade.
No, that was such a Zade proposal. And can we just talk about the ring? Like how it was described?
The rose.
Full circle moment. Full circle moment. Loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that's the end of our hour-long spiel of
this book.
The Cat and Mouse Duet.
No, literally. I hope you guys enjoyed our podcast, and again, sorry for the side noises that you hear throughout the whole thing. Make sure to like follow us on all our social medias. Make sure to follow the podcast along. We plan on posting every Wednesday, so you guys will be updated on our Instagram specifically. So make sure to go give that a follow. Yeah. And bye guys.
Bye.